Have you ever felt an unease around someone, as if your soul was quietly warning you to step away? It's a subtle feeling, isn't it? A discomfort you can't quite explain, a sense that something isn't right, even when they smile, even when they say all the right words, even when they seem to be a friend, a colleague, a loved one. But deep down, you feel drained, confused, or diminished, as if your light is slowly fading in their presence. Carl Jung, the masterful Swiss psychologist, understood this danger, warning us that the most destructive people aren't the ones who show their teeth, but the ones who hide their shadows behind warmth and kindness, the ones who can dismantle your peace, your energy, your joy, brick by brick, until you're left standing in the ruins of what was once your calm, your clarity, your light. For those of us in our middle years, seeking a life of meaning and tranquility, recognizing these toxic traits is more than wisdom. It's protection, a way to guard the peace we've worked so hard to find, a way to ensure our energy remains sacred, our hearts remain whole. In this video, we'll explore Carl Jung's insights on the toxic traits to walk away from energy vampires to silent manipulators, from hidden envy to chaos bringers, and how to protect your peace as a sacred act, a journey that might just change the way you navigate the relationships in your life. Let's begin by learning how to recognize toxic traits through the quiet wisdom of your intuition. Have you ever met someone new, someone who seemed perfectly pleasant, but something about their presence left you uneasy? A fleeting look in their eyes, a tone in their voice, a feeling in your chest that you couldn't quite name, a feeling that whispered, "Something's not right," even when you had no proof, no reason, no logical explanation for the discomfort that lingered. After they left, Carl Jung taught us that this isn't paranoia, it's your intuition, a form of unconscious knowledge, a survival mechanism passed down through generations, a mechanism that picks up on subtle signals your conscious mind hasn't yet processed. Signals like micro-expressions, body language, or an energy that feels off. Signals that reveal a person's true intentions, their hidden shadows, their potential to harm, even when they hide behind a smile, behind kind words, behind a mask of charm. Jung believed that our intuition taps into the collective unconscious, a vast system of inherited wisdom that knows danger before we can name it, that feels the truth before we can see it, that warns us when someone's energy doesn't align with our own, when someone's presence threatens our peace, our light, our well-being, a warning that comes as a quiet nudge, a subtle unease, a feeling that persists, that grows, that refuses to be ignored, if we're willing to listen, if we're willing to trust, if we're willing to act. It's like an inner alarm bell, a bell that rings softly but persistently, a bell that the universe has placed within you, a bell that protects you, that guides you, that keeps you safe, a bell that says, "Pay attention, this energy isn't right for you." A bell that can save you from the slow drain of your light, from the quiet theft of your peace, from the harm that hides behind a smile. Now let's explore the first sign of toxicity: energy vampires, the people who drain your light without you even noticing. Have you ever spent time with someone who left you feeling exhausted, empty, as if the energy you had before the conversation has vanished, as if your joy, your clarity, your light has been sapped, even when nothing overtly negative happened, even when they seemed charming, even when they seemed to care? Carl Jung taught us that these people are energy vampires, individuals who, unable to find their own internal source of energy, unconsciously take it from others, feeding on your light to fill their own void. A void they haven't faced, a void they haven't healed, a void that the universe is asking them to confront, but that they instead project onto you, onto your energy, onto your peace, leaving you depleted, drained, diminished, without even realizing what's happening, without even seeing the theft until it's too late. Jung believed that energy vampires often haven't integrated their shadow, their unhealed wounds, their inner chaos, their lack of self-awareness, and instead of doing the work to heal themselves, they seek out others to absorb their energy, to fill their emptiness, to ease their pain, through conversations that revolve around their problems, through demands for your attention, through subtle manipulations that leave you feeling guilty if you pull away, a pattern that can go on for months, for years, until you realize that every interaction with them leaves you less than you were, less vibrant, less alive, less you. It's like a cold wind that steals your warmth, a wind that blows softly at first, but steadily, persistently, a wind that the universe has placed in your path, not to harm you, but to teach you, to show you, to guide you, a wind that says, protect your light, guard your energy, walk away, a wind that can save you, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to act, if you're willing to choose yourself, your peace, your joy, over their need, over their void, over their drain. Now, let's uncover the next sign of toxicity, silent manipulation, and the subtle, dangerous signs of gaslighting. Have you ever been around someone who made you doubt your own reality, who made you question your memories, your emotions, your perceptions, until you felt like you couldn't trust your own mind, like you were the wrong one, who was crazy, who was overreacting, even when deep down you knew something wasn't right? Carl Jung taught us that this kind of manipulation is one of the most destructive forms of toxicity, a form that doesn't come with shouts or obvious threats, but with quiet, insidious words, with small gestures, with phrases disguised as care. That never happened. You're imagining things. You're exaggerating, as always. Words that slowly erode your sense of self, that make you feel like your emotions aren't valid, that your reality isn't real, that you need their validation to know what's true. A manipulation that Jung called a projection of the manipulator's shadow, a shadow they haven't faced, a shadow they impose on you, making you carry their conflicts, their guilt, their chaos, so they can feel in control, so they can feel safe, so they can avoid the truth of who they are, a truth the universe is asking them to face, but that they instead push onto you, onto your mind, onto your peace. Jung warned us that this gaslighting isn't just about winning an argument, it's about power, about making you dependent on their version of reality, about breaking down your trust in yourself, so you're easier to control, so you're easier to keep, so you're easier to dim. A process that can leave you confused, doubting, lost, until you no longer know what's real, until you no longer know who you are, until you no longer know your own light. It's like a fog that clouds your vision, a fog that creeps in slowly, silently, a fog that the universe has placed in your path, not to trap you, but to teach you, to show you, to guide you. A fog that says, trust yourself, see the truth, walk away. A fog that can clear, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to act, if you're willing to choose your reality, your truth, your peace, over their manipulation, over their control, over their fog. Now, let's explore the next sign of toxicity: shadow projection and the subtle, dangerous presence of hidden envy. Have you ever been blamed for something that wasn't your fault, accused of being selfish when you set a boundary, or made to feel guilty for your success, as if your light, your growth, your joy was somehow a problem, a threat, a burden to someone else, someone who seemed to care, who seemed to support you, but whose words, whose actions, whose silence revealed something darker, something the universe was asking you to see? Carl Jung taught us that shadow projection happens when someone refuses to face their own darkness, their flaws, their insecurities, their unhealed wounds, and instead projects them onto you, making you the target of their unresolved conflicts, their hidden shame, their buried pain, blaming you for the things they can't accept in themselves, accusing you of the faults they won't acknowledge, turning you into a mirror for their shadow, a mirror they can't bear to look at, a mirror they punish, a mirror they try to dim, so they don't have to face the truth of who they are, a truth the universe is asking them to see, a truth they avoid by pointing the finger at you, by making you carry what isn't yours, by making you feel less than you are. And then there's hidden envy, a toxicity that's even more insidious, because it often comes from those closest to you, those who smile at your success, who cheer for your wins, but deep down can't stand to see you shine, can't stand to see you rise, can't stand to see you grow, because your light reveals their lack, your growth reveals their stagnation, your joy reveals their pain. And instead of facing their own shadow, instead of healing their own wounds, they try to dim your light with subtle comments that sow doubt, with indifference that minimizes your achievements, with a coldness that pulls away when you succeed, a coldness that the universe is asking you to notice, to see, to walk away from, before it dims your light, before it steals your joy, before it pulls you down. It's like a weight you didn't ask to carry, a weight that isn't yours, a weight that the universe has placed in your path, not to burden you, but to teach you, to show you, to guide you, a weight that says, this isn't yours, let it go, walk away, a weight that can lift, if you're willing to see, if you're willing to act, if you're willing to choose your light, your joy, your peace, over their projection, over their envy, over their weight. Now, let's uncover the final and most dangerous sign of toxicity: chaos bringers, the people you must walk away from to protect your peace. Have you ever known someone whose life is a constant storm, whose every relationship ends in drama, whose every opportunity turns to ruin, not because of bad luck, but because of their own patterns, their own choices, their own chaos, a chaos they bring wherever they go, a chaos they pull you into, a chaos that threatens to unravel your stability, your peace, your light, until you're caught in their storm, until you're drowning in their drama, until you're no longer yourself, but a part of their chaos, a part of their destruction, a part the universe is asking you to see, to walk away from, to protect yourself from before it's too late. Carl Jung taught us that chaos bringers are people who live dominated by their shadow, people who haven't made their unconscious conscious, people who repeat the same destructive patterns because they refuse to face their own darkness, their own pain, their own truth, patterns that leave a trail of conflict, of drama, of instability in their wake, patterns that the universe is asking them to break, but that they instead spread to every relationship, to every space, to every person they touch, including you, including your peace, including your light, a spread that can pull you under, that can dim your shine, that can leave you lost if you don't see it, if you don't act, if you don't walk away. Jung warned us that if someone's history is a series of turbulent stories, if their life is a cycle of drama, if their presence brings disorder, not peace, you are not the exception. You will not change them. You will not save them. Because their chaos isn't yours to fix. Their storm isn't yours to weather. Their darkness isn't yours to heal. A warning the universe is giving you. A warning that says, protect yourself, walk away, choose your peace. A warning that can save you if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to act, if you're willing to let go. It's like a whirlwind that sweeps through your life. A whirlwind that destroys, that disrupts, that devours. A whirlwind that the universe has placed in your path, not to trap you, but to teach you, to show you, to guide you. A whirlwind that says, this isn't your storm, walk away. A whirlwind that can pass. If you're willing to see, if you're willing to act, if you're willing to choose your peace, your stability, your light, over their chaos, over their drama, over their storm. Let's wrap up by reflecting on how to protect your peace as a spiritual art, a sacred act of self-love. We've journeyed through Carl Jung's powerful insights on the toxic traits to walk away from. Traits that begin with the subtle unease your intuition warns you about. Traits that show up as Carl Jung emotional vampires who drain your light, as Carl Jung manipulation signs through gaslighting that clouds your reality, as Carl Jung hidden envy and shadow projection that burden you with what isn't yours, and as Carl Jung chaos bringers who pull you into their storm, traits that the universe is asking you to see, to walk away from, to protect your peace from, so you can live a life that's whole, a life that's true, a life that's yours, a life where your light shines bright, where your energy flows freely, where your heart remains open but guarded, a life the universe has been guiding you toward through every warning, through every sign, through every choice. Jung taught us that protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's sacred. It's the foundation of a meaningful life, a foundation that allows you to grow, to love, to shine, a foundation that the universe supports, a foundation that keeps you safe from those who would drain you, from those who would manipulate you, from those who would dim you, a foundation that ensures your light remains yours, your joy remains yours, your peace remains yours, a foundation that the universe has been preparing you for through every moment of unease, through every moment of clarity, through every moment of choice, a foundation that leads to a life that's not just lived, but cherished, a life that's not just endured, but embraced, a life that's not just yours, but sacred. It's like a shield around your light, a shield that doesn't block the world, but guards your peace, a shield that doesn't close your heart, but protects your joy, a shield that the universe has given you, a shield that says, you are enough, your peace matters, your light shines, a shield that transforms your journey, that transforms your relationships, that transforms your life. A shield that invites you to live in a way that's bright, in a way that's true, in a way that's yours. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments for video 44. Have you ever had to walk away from someone to protect your peace, And what did that teach you? If this video resonated with you, please give it a like, subscribe to Ageless Philosophies, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. Because you deserve a life where your peace is sacred, a life where your light shines bright, a life where the universe's warnings lead you to freedom, and I'm here to support you on that journey, cheering you on as you protect the peace you've always deserved.